Viewers, again, you're welcome to the Gbaramatuvoice studio. Jeremiah told me, is my name, and with me is
Vanessa.
It's a brand new week. Though for us, we had no weekend. We're all here all through with you, giving you minute by minute update of the recently held presidential election. And even as we speak, we've not departed from that same focus. Here at Gbaramatuvoice, we are not just in the studio, but we are right inside Gbaramatuvoice election headquarters. A program put together through the wisdom of the CEO to serve you very well in this, period of electioneering, giving you those hidden information that you cannot get from any other place. We are using this opportunity, this special service, to appreciate you for your unalloyed support you've given to Gbaramatuvoice all these years, and we encourage you to always remain with us. Get glued to Gbaramatuvoice. It's a decision that you will not regret, definitely. So the conversation is on. Vanessa, what's the latest development?
We are waiting for the INEC chairman
to reconvene. Yes, because they actually met yesterday. That was around 7
p.m.
They flashly announced the result of Ekiti State, which we are going to discuss later before they adjourn for
11 a.m.
today. Okay, so we are here waiting for them, and as soon as they resume, we get connected and equally keep you posted. But I have, aside that development, there is this controversy here and there. INEC. One funny thing about media practice now is that media professionals before now used to be the information gatekeepers, but now we have many gate crashers with the advent of social media and the citizen journalism. Everybody now is a journalist. Right from a corner of your room, you are the reporter, you are the sub-editor, you are the editor, you are the editor-in-chief, you are everything. You just, before you know it, you churn out news. And the funniest aspect of it is that you stand by it, that it must be pushed, that people must buy into it.
Exactly.
I think that's an area I personally is feeling very concerned. You understand? We are force-feeding people currently with information without giving them the freedom to verify.
Yes.
We'll come to that later. Let's look at the front pages of the newspaper and see what they have for us. But from the words that I've seen, it's about the recently held election. The conversation is ongoing and unabating. So let's look at them, and we're beginning with
the Punch.
The Punch, okay. All right.
And the front paper of the Punch, it says El-Rufai warns against election result protests.
Okay.
National Assembly.
Was warning against,
election.
I wouldn't know why.
Election result protests.
Yes, it is state or across the nation, why, and is it preempting what is to come, or I believe if the result serves the will of the people, there won't be any need
for protest.
Instead, what we should expect is wide jubilation, you understand, and celebration.
Yes.
So that I guess that question or that comment should more or less be directed to INEC to do
To
the
do
right thing.
yes, to
You
do a
understand? Because
credible job.
one thing is certain: every action requires what? A reaction.
Reaction.
Yeah, if the result reflects the will of the people, there will be celebration. Yeah, though here in the studio, as part of our philosophy at Gbaramatuvoice, we don't encourage people to take laws into their hands because the law is too hot. You understand? No matter what, the law has a way, channels that you can use to ventilate your angers, and the violence is not an option. So please, we encourage that you remain, that our viewers and Nigerians as a whole remain calm in the face of whatever. But more importantly, we encourage the relevant authorities, INEC in particular, to handle the whole process with the highest level of transparency. He assured us this, like the chairman assured us yesterday, that everything is going to be done in the open. So let's bank on that way, yes, and see how it goes, and God will help us. We are, like I keep saying, we are very prayerful nation. Okay, so we move on.
National Assembly passes pension opt-out bill, PFAs kick.
Okay. All right. The people. Is there anything about the result, the Ekiti State result, so that we probably look at it? Because
Tinubu wins Ekiti, Atiku tops in Osun, Labour Party cries foul.
Wow.
Tinubu wins Ekiti.
Yeah, can we get the details of that?
Just as we saw yesterday. Yes. The breakdown of the results from Ekiti State, the ADC, African Democratic Congress, got a total of 1,337 votes.
ADC, that's Dumebi.
Dumebi,
okay. Kachiku, yes, okay.
The All Progressive Congress got a total of 201,494 votes.
Okay.
Then the Labour Party got 11,397 votes. Then the New Nigerian People's Party got a total of 264 votes.
Okay.
The People's Democratic Party got a total of 89,554 votes. The total votes cast was 314,472. Valid votes 308,171. Rejected votes 6,301. Yes.
All right. Massive. I don't know what we attribute that to, as in the rejected votes. Okay. I think
maybe
lack of enlightenment on the part of the NOA, that's the National Orientation Agency, because that organization, sorry to say, now exists only in the frames.
yes.
You get it? Throughout this period, I expected them to have been pushing, educating Nigerians on how to go about this entire process.
But looking at the number of rejected votes compared to the valid votes, I think it's fair.
It's fair.
Yes.
It's manageable.
Yes.
Then, were you in any way surprised about the score by APC?
Well, I'm not surprised.
Okay.
I'm not surprised.
Likewise, there is a kind of historical backing to my not being surprised. You get it? Yes. During the Nadeco days, then the military era, Tinubu and the immediate past governor of Ekiti State, in the person of Dr. Kayode Fayemi, they were, like this. When the political temperature became too hot for them, they have to, go into self-exile.
Yes.
They actually lived in the same house in the UK, living with Tinubu. Tinubu were unhappy. So they were just like their brothers. And very remarkably, Fayemi then was the man that managed the radio coup d'etat I don't know, maybe you may not have. The radio Kudirat was like an elusive radio station used to, attack the military, the then military junta, led by the late maximum ruler in the person of General Sani Abacha. Yes, so they tracked the station looking for a way to, get it out of the wavelength, but they couldn't. But why it was easy and simple for Kayode to manage that is that he's equally, a security expert. I think his doctorate degree was on military administration or something. It has to do with military or defense, or counter-terrorism. Do you get it? Meaning that, he's abreast with what the military knows. Do you get it? And after the demise of Abacha, there was call for democracy then, and all of them came back. Tinubu emerged the governor of Lagos, and at some point he equally assisted Fayemi to become the governor of Ekiti State. So it's like a payback. He must have worked, stoutly. You get it, to ensure that, and he was equally among those people that vied for the presidency.
Yes.
But he stepped down for Tinubu, so that's like a foreclosure to the fact that Yes. So I'm not very surprised. Then we talk about the Labour Party. I guess they are at liberty to protest. Do you get it? But all we can to protest, all we can encourage is that they do it within the ambit of the law. Yes,
exactly.
As civil, responsible, and responsive organization. That's our watchword here. Okay. All right, we move on.
Still on the Punch, INEC explains the IREV hitches.
Okay.
Continuous collation today.
Yeah, I think he talked about it extensively yesterday. Yes. Though, like we will later find out, it has become unpalatable for Nigerians to swallow. I mean that explanation.
Yes.
So we'll talk about it later.
When we move past it, okay, that's true. Tinubu wins and
okay. So we go to the next.
Okay, let's move on to the next paper. Vanguard.
Our own very own Vanguard. Okay.
Poll results. Anxiety as INEC keeps Nigerians waiting. On my way to work this morning, there's usually this long queue at the ATM stand, but I noticed that I could count the numbers of persons.
Meaning that it reduced drastically.
Meaning that I'm sure everyone is waiting for 11 a.m. for the INEC results. Yes. Because I was really surprised that these people, they're usually here as early as 5 a.m. to queue for money, but it was a bit reduced this morning. So anxiety as INEC keeps Nigerians waiting.
Yeah, and I think I need to lend my voice on this issue because even the last guest at Gbaramatuvoice program yesterday, she bitterly complained about it. That why is it taking INEC eternity to do the needful? That it took them over 2 years to plan for this. Now, instead of giving us the result, they are generating megawatts of excuses. I don't think, INEC has taken a step forward and three backward. It's not the best way to build an institution.
The
INEC chairman is a well-respected academic, and there is need for him to apply this level of knowledge in the leadership of INEC. The Nigerians, are inching, waiting eagerly and anxiously, with seized breath to know the outcome and to know that personality who will succeed President Muhammadu Buhari. So it's important, INEC, please, and the other relevant authorities.
Okay, so protests in Rivers over alleged INEC connivance to upturn results.
In
Rivers State.
It has not been since yesterday, the kind of stories coming out from River State have not been any way, palatable. We don't know. The information remains sketchy. To get it, and to the glory of God, few minutes from now, we shall be having one of the stakeholders in River State politics with us, a governorship aspirant for that matter. So I think he will be in the right position to dissect the River State challenge and narrative as well. So you have no reason to go away.
Okay. Still on the Vanguard newspaper. Don't throw Nigerians into crisis. Labour Party tells INEC. Where would they insinuate that?
The INEC is trying to throw, maybe, the management, engineering, and every sectors of human existence. There is something called KPIs, the key performance indicators. It's like a dashboard of a car. You look at your dashboard when you drive. When what's supposed to be green turns red, is a sign that there's something fundamentally wrong with the engine.
Yes.
So they are part of the system. So they know, they have their own dashboard they are looking at. So they maybe some of the green lights have turned red. So but that notwithstanding, everything should be done within the ambit of the law, as we keep saying. Yes, okay.
So moving on to the Guardian newspaper, it says CSOs knock INEC on conduct of presidential National Assembly election.
Yes, truly.
They keep using the performance of INEC. We keep getting reports on.
It's a sign. It's a sign, but like I keep saying, it's not too late for INEC to correct all these shortfalls. It's equally not too late, to do the needful.
Yes.
So there will never be a smoke without fire. For them to have, raised alarm, the civil society organizations, I don't think they are not partisan. So they are development focused, they are peace promoters. So I think there is need for INEC to look into their concerns and see whether it has merit or lacking in merit. I think it is important. Okay. That's from the Guardian.
Still on the Guardian, security agent kills PDP supporter at Ondo Collation Center.
At the beginning of that election, the security personnel we encountered as media professionals, they appeared civil, and that informed my decision that morning right here in the studio to commend their conduct. But that notwithstanding, there is something fundamentally wrong with security system.
Yes.
Fela of his blessed memory said that uniform na cloth na person so I get as they talk am. You understand? But once they put on this uniform, it appears as if the sun rise and set on their table. You get it? And even your effort to to explain things, before you know it, like this is police specific, they will tell you, do you want to teach me my job? You want to teach me my job. So that has been the system. So, but there is no time that will be too late to change one's character from bad to good. So please, security officers in this country, particularly now that the election is, we have another election around the corner. Please, we need positive results from your sector. Please, yes. I beg. So, human life, we must at all times obey or respect the sanctity of human life. It is very, very important. So please, we call on the police, the army, the whatever security top ranking officer to call this rank and file to order, please. It's very, very important.
Such violence in Rivers as voters protest manipulation of results.
Yes, Rivers State. That's a sign that, you know, something is going on. Something is going on. And, you know, I'm surprised that such a thing is happening in Rivers State. Why I'm surprised is that for some months back, understand, Governor Wike has, you know, become Mr. Justice, calling for justice, you know, and there's somebody who calls for justice should be willing, ready, and eager to equally do what? Give justice.
Give justice, exactly.
No matter how you bend it, the truth is that he remains the chief security officer of the state. And by virtue of that position, he's supposed to, you know, ensure, you know, that the state is not just securitized, but that the, you know, life and property were well protected, especially during this very critical moment of our nationhood. So it's okay. Maybe when we keep you updated or posted when we get more information on this particular issue.
Moving on to Tribune.
Yes.
Hoodlums set fire on Kano INEC local government office. Police arrest 3.
Wow. Why I'm feeling despondent is that after 23 going to 24 years of unbroken democracy in the country, I thought by now we ought to have grown past this level.
Yes, exactly.
There would have been, you know, a more sophisticated ways of conducting this election that would have rendered all this burning, violence, and ballot snatching irrelevant.
Yes, exactly.
Yes, and about though they told us that beavers will take care of it, but now Nigerian factor. Agenda. What worked? Yes, factor. What worked in Osun State is no longer robot. I'm only a media professional. I'm not an engineer to know whether, you know, what could have led to the collapse of the INEC website and code. So we move on. We leave that issue for. Yeah. Okay. So I think that's all we have for the newspaper. Then we go back to the Ekiti State result and talk about it. Yes. Now, Ekiti is part of the southwest. Tinubu is from the southwest. He's part of Tinubu's stronghold, apart from his personal relationship with the immediate past, you know, administration in the state. Yeah, and like equally, some media report has it that the governor Ayo Fayose of factor that he may have worked behind the scene to support. Wow. Which is, you know, in politics anything can happen. Yeah. There is this principle in politics, they call it the principle of what we cannot eat, we scatter. You understand? You know, Fayose belongs to the G5.
Yes.
You get it? That we are like led by Governor Wike led G5 because he was part of them. All the I no go agree faction in PDP. But now that, you know, Atiku and Co did not listen to them, they could have as well said, okay, what we cannot eat, let's scatter it. Make all of us base the so it's not. But that is not like the major. There has been a standing relationship between Tinubu and the Ekiti State. But that relationship notwithstanding too, that the relationship does not in any way prevent Labour Party to suspect a foul play. Yes, this is just, you know, we need to balance the whole conversation. Yeah, by 11 o'clock, the INEC officials with all the necessary stakeholders will reconvene at the National Collation Center in Abuja. What are your expectations? What are your fears? Hopes? You can share all this with us, by calling on the number that is directly right on your screen, or you drop your comment on the comment section or you can access and send your feedbacks using any of our social media platforms. It will equally be appreciated, shared and discussed, for the benefit of all of us. There's a saying that if you tell something to a journalist, you tell it to the world. So by sending your reaction, you indirectly become a journalist, because your message will be, heard or read across the world. And most importantly, the conversation continues, is unending, I must tell you. So if you feel very strongly about what is ongoing and you want to visit Gbaramatuvoice studio to participate in the program, it's not an express invitation. You call our corporate affairs department on the number that you are looking at on your screen, or you can equally send us an email on our email address, and then you can give it to them. And
yes,
okay. So please kindly, yes, do that.
So just call on our numbers on 08030891146, 08030891146.
All right, thank you so much. We shall be going on a very short break, and as soon as we come back, you will hear the voice of our special guest, who happens to be a governorship candidate in Rivers State, and his name is, want to keep you I guess you are guessing. I feel that you are guessing. So what you can.
Hi, Chief Sobomabo Jakrish, the governorship candidate of the NRM party, the National Rescue Movement in Rivers State.
One thing is certain: it's going to be an explosive conversation. He has a lot off his sleeves to share with you. He's going to dissect the recently held presidential election as it pertains to Rivers State. He's simply going to front load his plans for Rivers State if elected. And most importantly, he will be touching the nagging underdevelopment challenge in Delta State, in Niger Delta region, among other issues. So please, don't go away.
Stay tuned.
Stay tuned. Thank you so much. We'll be right back.
Thank you for staying with us. And joining us now is High Chief Soboma Bodakrich, the governorship candidate of the National Rescue Movement, NRP party in Rivers State. Sir, you're welcome.
Yes, my dear, how are you?
Fine, thank you, sir.
Yeah. Chief, good morning.
Good morning, my brother. How are you?
I'm doing very well, sir. Are you?
Very well, thank you.
Yeah, here in the studio to anchor the program is Jerome Otome. With me is
Vanessa Prebo.
Okay. Yeah.
Jerome and Vanessa, you're welcome.
Definitely.
You're welcome.
Thank you so much. We appreciate it. And on behalf of the CEO of Gbaramatuvoice, Jacob Abai, we thank you for, giving us this time to have this wonderful conversation with you, despite, that is in spite of your busy schedule. You honored us with this time. We will appreciate. God bless you, sir. And we equally join you in prayers in the forthcoming exercise.
Oh, bless God.
Yeah, thank you so much. Yeah, so before we get to the kernel of today's conversation, which is your governorship ambition, let's do a review of the last Saturday's electoral exercise, sir.
Okay. The immediate past election of Saturday, 25th of February,
Yes.
for the presidential election. For me, first, I want to query INEC. I want to confirm, I want to say it here that INEC is not ready for the election. Now, why I said so is this. Let's look at the agent formation. First, we registered over 2,000, we registered over 1,250 agents in only Obiako.
Okay.
But the tax we received in Obiako was only 19 out of 1,200 and something. The INEC released only 19 tax to us. That alone shows the incompetence of INEC. Other people don't register, we registered as they directed in the portal. Evidences are there. When the names were out, and other parties, political parties, they denied us access to the tax, thereby disenfranchising us. And you know that agent is the bedrock of every political, every election.
Sure,
in every unit, you must have an agent.
Yes, to be the eye of the
agent
party.
or a ward agent.
Yes.
Now, when this area you don't have any agent, it means a free sale of rigging in that area to their preferred candidate. Now, that is an example. Several agents, people, agents, we are denied, we don't have agents. Now, to confirm that INEC is not ready, in the course of the election on Saturday, the officials will come on, they will come, the people will even vote. When the people vote, they will enter the result in the ordinary result sheet. Now, for them to enter that same result on the paper machine, they will deliberately deny the people to enter the number in the paper machine. They will claim that there is no network or they don't know how to break the paper machine. It will be until thugs and the police and maybe the local government chairman will come in with thugs and police to hijack that material and then do away with it. Shoot guns and then scare away the people. This is what we experienced in River State. In River State, the people that have the majority vote that I know is between Obi and Atiku.
Okay.
River State voted map for Atiku and Obi. When the state government perceives that the election is not favorable to its preferred research, so violent, into rigging, then in connivance with the INEC official.
Okay.
If not, there is no way a polling unit or a ward was completed for over 5 hours. And they refused to enter the total result in the paper machine.
Okay.
Thereby frustrating the process until this storm will come in and attack it. Just to make sure that they
Okay, thank you so much, Chief. In fact, it's a pathetic development, but for the better understanding of what happened by our viewers, we want to ask, who should be blamed in all this? Is it the police, the governor, who happens to be the chief security officer of the state, and or is it the INEC expressly? Then that is one aspect of the question. Then the second one is, from these hitches you talked about, were did it come about because of due to logistics problem, or it was deliberate? Hello, sir. Hello, sir. Hello, sir.
I think we lost the call.
Okay.
Well, we are trying to get back to him. It's really pathetic. We really need to call on INEC.
This time around, like this case scenario painted. I don't think it's.
Thank you for having back. Hello, sir.
Hello, sir.
Can you hear me now?
Yes, thank you. Yeah, welcome back, sir.
Hello, can you hear me?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Yes, we are with you, sir.
Yes, I'm on the road and the network is stable.
Okay.
Hello?
Can you hear us now?
Can you hear me, sir?
Yes,
sir.
can.
Yeah. Yes, sir. So,
Hello, Jerome.
yeah, I'm with you, sir. I'm with you. We are with you, sir.
Okay, I found you. My network is not stable.
Hello?
I am on the road, and that is how the network is not stable.
Okay, all right.
Okay.
Wi-Fi is not strong.
Okay.
Okay, all right. Okay, we can understand.
Come back to your question again.
Okay. Looking at what you have narrated, who should be blamed in the present circumstance? So that, for a better understanding of what transpired by our viewers. Is it INEC or the state government who happens to be the state governor who happens to be the chief security officer in the state, or poor logistics? So I don't know. We need you to throw more light on this. Hello, sir. Let's call. To call, Rebecca.
Let's go.
Thought it was. Sorry, we're trying to get him back, and as soon as that is done, you will hear his voice. I can assure you, it's going to be an interesting conversation. It is already. It's an interesting conversation. We are like trying to bring to your doorstep information about INEC recently held presidential election, so that you understand what happened in other states. So, but Valley, looking at these pockets of complaints coming from across the state, what do you think should be the best thing for INEC to do? Is it to organize a fresh election, or to go on with the already doubted result?
I think it would be unfair to go on with the already doubted results. It would be fair to go on with it.
No matter how the pendulum is going to swing, is going to, is dented already.
Yes.
There is a credibility challenge.
Yes.
So we have no power to do that.
Well, we are still calling on.
Yes, we are only trying to convey the people's concern to the relevant authority, which is INEC.
Yes.
Sorry, we are still waiting for our guest, and definitely he's going to join us in no distant time. The network is obviously a problem, and I believe it's going to be sorted out by our engineering unit. Okay, this is to 10. I know people should be heading straight to the National INEC Collation Center, National Collation Center in Abuja for the continuation of the collation and announcement of results from various states. As we speak, it's only one state out of the 36 and the FCT that has been announced. So it's going to be a very busy day for INEC, not just for INEC, but for the entire country. Or don't you think so?
When the INEC chairman came to say that they'll start collation at 7 p.m. or 6 p.m., we were thinking that
it's going to be a straight.
Yes, a straight. And because he was saying that they would take breaks and all that. So we're thinking that it was going to be a straight
saying all through the night. I was even trying to lace up my shoes to see how I'm going to keep vigil, you know, in order to update our viewers. Yes. But I was shocked after the first call said that they adjourned to. But that notwithstanding, we are all out, to see through to the end of this program, and I pray is going to come out fine in ways that will move the nation out of its current socio-economic, wood. So that's our hope, and I believe, like we keep saying that we are praying nations. We pray and do the right thing, because the same Bible says that faith without good work is dead. So while we wait, and less than 2 weeks from now is another election.
Governorship election.
Yeah, governorship and the state
House of Assembly
election. So your job has not ended, and even after the election, that's even the time that the real issue will start, because by that time our unity will be needed. We need to unite as a nation, irrespective of the party divides. We need to put the experience of the election behind us and heal the wounds and move forward. We can only move forward when we are united. Once we are divided, it becomes a problem. There's a popular saying that united we stand and divided we fall. We don't pray for division, but as the same in the same vein, we cannot be united when there is no justice, equity, and peace. So we really need all this, and thankfully, justice is not what God can provide. We can only provide His own version of judgment when we get to heaven. Justice when we get to heaven. But for now, we have, statutory bodies here in Nigeria that it is their duty to do what? To do justice.
Yes.
And part of that statutory body is INEC.
Yes.
Yes, it's after INEC must have done what they feel is just. If you are not, pleased, you can approach the tribunal. From tribunal, if you are not pleased, you get to the appeal court. If from the appeal court, if you are not pleased, in case of governorship and presidential election, you approach the nation's highest court, which is the Supreme Court. And in all this, I believe the tribunal has, immediately after the election, they have 90 days or so to deliver the judgment.
Yes.
That's like 3 months.
3 months.
After that, if you go on appeal, they have about 60 days to deliver. And if you are not satisfied, you go to the Supreme Court. The Supreme Court has 30 days. I stand to be corrected, but that's just so 90, 60, 30. That's about 100 and something days. All electoral matters must be dispensed. That's just, but it's late. If not, I would have loved all the electoral matters dispensed before the swearing-in exercise.
Yes.
So that somebody who did not win will not enjoy the office. You understand what I'm saying? And the negative effect of being in the office why you are not sure whether you are the winner is that by that time, if you are going to the court to defend yourself, you use the state's resources. While your opponent, who may plus or minus be the authentic winner, will be striving, paying the legal fees from his pocket. Because it's like the principle of reaping where you did not sow. I think that aspect of the law need to be changed. Maybe subsequent years, there is need for election to be held and enough gap given for every legal tussle, both pre and post-election concerns to be tracked at all levels of the court. So that if you are going in, if you are on the day of you are swearing in, you are going to come clean. There won't be any albatross hanging on your neck. I think that would be the right way to go. And another issue that we must, look into as a nation is the fact that the electoral process in Nigeria is capital intensive. Yes. The way the nation is structured, no poor man can become poor. Yes, like what the governorship aspirant in Rivers State said before the network issue came up, that they accredited or they appointed 1,900 and something vote agents. Now, just close your eyes and open it and calculate 1,900 and something vote times 5,000. That's minimum. Then if you pay each 10,000, calculate it, just to pay the agents. Then talk about campaign. And like in some parties where they sold what is it called, the nomination form and the expression of interest, whatever, for 100 million. There is a systematic way of shutting out the poor from the corridors of power, and this is like one of them. Yes. So and most pathetically is that if much is invested in your election, as soon as you get there, chances are that the first responsibility is to look for a way to recoup your investment. You can imagine someone who sold 5, 7, 10 buildings to become a governor. He has invested, and every investment must do what? Come with profit. So if you sold 10 houses, before you leave the office, chances are that you may build not just 10 but 20. You get it? Yes. Through that process, the corruption become a vicious circle. Yes. We now know those are factors that drives corruption. Yeah, because you can't just invest and win, go there, stick to salaries or allowances, and then come out like that. You may tell us that you did not. We've seen in the past where some governors told us that they did not even collect salaries for the 3 months or for the 3 years or 4 years that they stayed in the office. All those things, appeared laughable. For us to move forward, something fundamental must be done to our leadership recruitment challenge. And another issue is that this is personal anyway. I see that democracy, the greatest deception in our political terrain or political geography, is the definition of democracy as government of the people by the people. Based on what is going on, you can see that it is not.
It is not.
It is not, because it's just a government of the few who controls others.
Yes.
That's just it, because looking at it, if I'm a political leader who controls this area, all I need to do is to attend meeting in Asaba, come back and tell my followers, this is who you are going to
vote for.
So that democracy is for me. I'm the one controlling others. There is no, that free will is not. And this particular concern is more devastating in the northern part of the country. Wow. Yeah, but they have their own way. They arrange it in a way. Somebody who has fed you the past 3 years, yes. You come in the morning, he gives you food. Yes. In the afternoon, you come back, he keeps feeding you. Who plays the piper, they say, he tells the tune. So by the time he will tell you, oh, yeah, my friend, this is my candidate and you must vote for me. You will, if not for anything, for conscience sake, you will be forced to align. Yes. So our leadership recruitment system is wrong and is impacting heavily on the democratic practice in the country. I think. But what actually set the stage for all this is I made mention of it, I think you were laughing when I said it, is the weaponization of poverty. To a very great extent, poverty has been weaponized in this country. that was one of the reasons why I wasn't so moved when people were shouting, Obi, Obi. Obi is my, I have, a kind of serious respect for him. Do you get it? But the level of followership, the credibility of those people and the ability to, shun instant gratification and all these whatever syndrome, those mentality, financial inducement mentality, was highly questionable within that period. But thankfully, many of them resisted.
Yes, a lot of them.
A lot of them. There was a very great shift in paradigm and understanding of election, using the last Saturday's experience as an example. So, head or tail, I believe we are making progress. We may not be flying, we may not be running, we may not be walking, we may be crawling. But the most important thing to underline is that there is a movement. So the youth of this country, we appreciate you. But even as we do that on behalf of this great organization called Gbaramatuvoice, we encourage you to remain civil in your demands. Never, for any reason, take laws into your hands. Law, as we all know, is very, very hot. That burns people's, hands and whatever. So please, and even the greater task is ahead of us, which is the governorship and the State House of Assembly elections. Yeah, because that exercise, why is grassroots based. Chances are that the assembly aspirant on the platform of the PDP, and that of the APC, and that of the Labour Party, the ADC, and on and on and on. So you've been eating together, all of you, attending parties and everything. Before you know it, A will be dragging you, B, you understand? And maybe you belong to A, and you know those that belong to B. Do you get it? At that material time, you become whatever. But in all this, one thing is basic. We must restructure our minds in order not to see or in order not to continually see election as a do or die affair. It's not in any way. It's very painful that in this part of the world, somebody will go to his people and tell them that, oh, please, I want to serve you. They will say, no, we don't need your service. We have somebody else. He will tell them, no. It's compulsory that I must serve.
I was going to say that. Which results in ballots, snatching, violence and all that.
Yes,
so why would you want to force your way into the way of people that don't want
like
you?
Yoruba will say, I must serve you. Whether you are
but
not
people don't want you, but you must force your way into it.
If the PDP says no, we are not giving you ticket, you go to APC, APC says no. Before you know it, you move around the 18 political parties in the country. Yes, looking at my understanding of leadership is service.
Yes.
And you don't need a degree certificate to serve. You don't need to be at the National Assembly to serve. You don't need to be president to serve. Start from where you are with what you have. If truly you love the people, and if truly that word service is your watchword, you start. There is a great misconception about being great or greatness. People believe that until you appear on CNN, that's when you are considered a great man. Or people believe that until, like now, using Nigerian context, until you are being addressed as Igwe, this, that, Onogun, and Co, that you become. No. Or until you are known across the state. It's not true. You can live in a particular street and be a great man. Yes, you can be, one man passed on just a few months back, and we attended the funeral. People from the community described him as the Supreme Court of that street.
Wow.
That's the definition of greatness. That no matter how complicated the issue may be, if you bring it to him, he has a way of handling it, and everybody will go home happy.
Wow.
And I can, the man all through his life did not appear on any television. Look at it. So we should start understanding service from a different perspective. We should drop this, and you can imagine also, you claim to be my servant. You are driving 10 cars, 10 exotic cars, and the person you are serving has none. It's the person that you are serving that comes to you and you tell your security details to keep him outside. I don't think there is. Across the world, we have, models of servants. When you talk about the man they refer to as the holy soul, in the person of the great Mahatma Gandhi of India. We have the people like this great man from the United States in the person of Martin Luther King Jr. Yes, these are the models of good leadership. And we need to, if truly you want to serve your people, we need to learn from them. They have so many of their activities documented here and there that you can read, and in order to get a clearer perception of what leadership is all about. If truly you were born to serve, it's not about appearing in the Delta State House of Assembly or Sadebe House.
It goes a long way to show their interest.
Yes. And more importantly, to why there is a whole lot of twist in the leadership recruitment process in Nigeria is that this is a country, thankfully, our editorial board chairman, Professor Harry Mann, will be joining us soon to discuss the relationship between religion and politics. Because it has become very important for us to talk about it. Because if you go through different posts, you will see that it's like being turned to a religious war. And I don't think that's the best way to go.
That's not the best way to go.
But make no mistake, that message is being propelled, you understand, by the same politicians. They have a way of teleguiding the followers. You get it? Especially those who follow them sheepishly. Yes. Either they use the tribal card, the religious card, and what have you, ethnic, all those, just like that. Whether we like it or not, from my own understanding, what Nigeria is suffering is Abrahamic syndrome. That is my, theory. That is my own theory. Abrahamic what? Syndrome. Why do I say that? The Muslims, they trace their origin to who? Abraham. The Christians, they trace their origin to who? Abraham. So if we are, as we claim, we are all of the same father, why are we killing ourselves? Time has come for Christians and Muslims to unite and fight their common enemy called bad leadership. They are selling bad ideas to us. They have never in any way mean well for the common man on the street. So coming to sell that same idea to you, that they are fighting me because I'm a Christian, they don't want me to be there because I'm a Muslim, I think we should look for a way to live above that argument.
And that mentality.
Yeah, that mentality. We shouldn't just allow it. I don't know how it's going to work, but this is like my own personal observation, which I think is not lacking in merit in any form.
And how is that even going to deprive someone of ruling a country well? I don't think it's going to deprive them of doing the country well or doing the country great. No. It's not going to deprive you, whether you're a Muslim or a Christian. If you have the country at heart, that's the most important thing.
It's just like when you see some Christians, we quote the Bible from Genesis to Revelation. We are, our level of religiosity is so high, but we are morally prostrate. You understand? Very, very poor, both morally and spiritually. You get it? Yes. But in terms of religiosity, we are so high. So I think all these things, we need to look for a way to become more practical than theoretic in our actions, especially when it has to do with religion and ethnicity. Yes, hunger knows no ethnic group. And we that are divided along ethnic, religious and political divides, the truth is that we must look for a way to elect good leaders that will give us what? Quality representation and efficient leadership. Why? The reason is simple. There is no APC market. Neither is there PDP market. We all go to the same market.
Yes.
If you elect the wrong person due to ethnic, religious, or whatever considerations, we shall all meet in the same market. The truth, the hope, and the prayer is that if you elect the bad candidate as a leader, if you are able to buy, we will somehow buy. It's as simple as that. But why must we inflict pains on ourselves, all in the name of what? Mundane considerations. I don't think it's the best way to go. And another thing, we should be futuristic. We should be forward-looking in our analysis, particularly now that we're in a period of what? Electioneering. What kind of country are we planning to, hand over to our children?
Exactly.
That should be a very big concern to each and every one of us. If we look at it, there is a new trend now. Any president that comes in, we prefer the previous. So meaning that we are moving from bad to worse. Obasanjo was the best.
Yes.
Obasanjo was a very bad president. Immediately, what's his name came. We say, I remember the good old days. As we were lamenting, Jonathan came. The other one, we preferred it. Now, 2015, we're all up in stone. Yes. Jonathan must go. Now Jonathan, Buhari came in. We are now praying for Jonathan to come back. The question is like exactly. Yeah, we are now praying for Jonathan to come back. And now, like St. Paul queried in the Bible, he said, shall we continue in saying that grace shall abide? He said, God forbid. Must we continue to move in that manner? No, I don't think it's the best way to go. If not, it has become so heavy on this nation that it may, crumble if we continue in this manner of leadership. Whether we like it or not, we need to redesign our leadership recruitment system. And part of the steps to take is to make Abuja less attractive. Abuja is so attractive that once you get there, our president is like the most powerful president in the whole world. There are so many items on that exclusive list that ought not to be there. I keep saying it. Call it restructuring. You may not be far from the truth. Yeah. And because of all those things that we are packed into that list that is meant for the federal government alone, the state is starved. There's nothing wrong with the state issuing driver's license. Something that is as simple as driver's license. Yeah, go to the United States, you see each state have their own, authorities that issues. Because there is a payment attached to it. These are, little ways that states supposed to, but that's not equally in any way. I'm not like trying to exonerate the fact that state governors are lazy. Majority of them are lazy, because leadership is about creativity on how to solve problems, and creativity on how to move the state from where you met it to the next level. But now, what we hear is that, or what we witness, what we see daily is that towards the tail end of the month, all the state commissioners of finance are straight to Abuja to share the federal allocation. And as soon as the money comes back, money has come for the state. They remove that of the salary, this, that. That's what the governor. If that is what governor was elected to do, it means anybody can govern.
Yeah, anybody.
Anybody, yes. A governor, somebody was elected governor to come and look inward. Look at this, the state where you operate, where you were elected to govern. Look, there is something called comparative cost advantage in economics. You look at it, you know their strength, you know the mineral resources, you know what they have, and you know how you plan, you develop or design a well comprehensive plan on how to harness those resources in order to do what? To enrich the state's internally generated revenue. But for now, everybody, even Jigawa and Co, all of us, we are, Jigawa, northern part of the country, everybody, Delta, South, Niger Delta, everybody, we process to Abuja, share, come back. Nobody is looking. We have arable lands, the very fertile lands that could be used for agricultural purposes, but nobody is like. Those are, very strenuous ways of making money. We have free money, 13% derivation. Our own is even the worst hit. You understand? Free money, 13% derivation. It comes as soon as it comes. The super deck can call everybody, just like that, and on. We should look for a way to elect people that will think outside the box. Yes. It has become very, very necessary. We are going on a very short break, and as soon as we come back, okay, we are trying to hook up again.
All the way from Liberia. We have Ba Isaka Sona, Chairman of the Electoral Commission of Niger. You're welcome, sir. We also have Mr. Sakalafia, Chairperson of the Electoral Commission of Benin.
Formal opening of the 2023 Presidential Election Results Collation Center. As some of you are aware, collation of presidential election results in Nigeria is done at 4 levels. After the conclusion of voting, counting, and recording of results at the various polling units. The results are first tallied and collated at the 8,809 registration areas or wards. The collated ward-level results are tallied and collated at the 774 local government areas nationwide. Thereafter, they are tallied and collated in each of the 36 states of the Federation and the Federal Capital Territory.